So let's get back out to 11 Alive's Christy Etheridge, she's right in the middle of all this chaos. And Christy, has any official, airport or maybe Georgia Power, have they approached you to give you any information as to how this happened?
The only thing we've heard, Ron, is that it was a substation of Georgia Power that had a malfunction and maybe causes, but it's still under investigation. And the last time, the most recent person I spoke to was APD, and they could not talk about the cause at all. So that's still a huge mystery here. But whatever the cause, is causing major chaos and a huge blackout here at the Atlanta airport. The crowd has thinned out a little bit. I'm going to show you. We're on the North Terminal, which is the opposite the Delta side, where you would drop somebody off or pick family up after they have picked up their bags at baggage claim. There used to be hundreds of people standing out here waiting, but about an hour to 2 hours ago, more people left than came in because they learned there was no chance they were getting out and getting on a flight today. The one big message that the police are trying to get is that do not come to the Atlanta airport. There's no point in coming here because you couldn't, even if you tried. They're diverting all traffic. Cars, planes aren't going out, cars can't come in. And since they can't tell the difference of a car who's coming to pick up somebody or drop somebody off, they're just keeping all of the cars away, which means there are very limited options for people who are stuck here at the airport to get home or to get anywhere if this isn't home. The only option here is MARTA, which is not affected by the power outage. They still have power and can move. There are also a couple taxis that are available and accessible from the North Terminal. But other than that, that's about all you've got right now. Now, here's one thing. They are trying to figure out a way to get all the people that are inside the airport right now bussed and taken to a different location. When we asked, could they stay here overnight if that is their only option, they said, okay, we're not at that point yet. We have plenty of officers here to help deal with all of the people, to take care of all of the people that are here. And what we're going to try to do is get buses and bus them all to a central location so they can start charging their cell phones, so they can charge their laptops and maybe get in touch with some family members and loved ones, because out here, cell service has been a nightmare. It's hard to get a call out. You can barely get a text message out. So a lot of these people are truly stranded. And here's the dangerous part about it. So earlier in the day, it was dark inside the airport anyway, but every once in a while you would walk around, you would see a couple emergency lights, and the one saving grace we had was that it was daylight. So near the entrances and the exits, and every once in a while there's also a skylight, it would let some of that natural light in, and you could still kind of see where you're going. But the police are saying as it's starting to get night, it's very dark out here now, it's going to get pitch black inside that Atlanta airport, which is not good for anybody. And with no power, that also means no heat, no air conditioning, anything like that. So it could become very uncomfortable. Now, the one thing they wanted to stress was that no one has been harmed, no one has been injured, and there have been no rescue operations needed here. So that is good. But it is certainly inconvenient. We spoke to a couple passengers who were affected by this power outage. Take a listen.
Went out and they said everything was fine, and then power went out again, and we had to evacuate our security check.
We talked to a man over there, and he said, "You're not going anywhere because the airport's closed," and we thought he was teasing.
It sounds like a joke, doesn't it? But it's not. And the reality is the airport has been without power for anything for several hours now. And so here's what they're trying to do. They're working in waves. There were still people stuck on planes on the tarmac. When I got here a couple of hours ago, I saw at least 10 to 12 planes just from my vantage point that were stacked up and lined up along the tarmac. Those people are still on those planes, and they're working to get them off, and ideally they'd like to evacuate the whole airport if they can and put them in a safe central location via buses. Now, the trick here is that communication has been quite a trick because there is no power for any PA system. So the people inside have had a hard time knowing what to do or where to go. There have been no announcements made over the intercom because that system doesn't work either. And all the people who had gotten ready to get on their flights and are now wondering what to do with their luggage. Maybe that's the only clothes they have and they don't have a carry-on. There's no way and no power for the luggage belts to run either. So there's so many ways, Ron, that we use power, and power is necessary in our lives, and we're learning what it takes when we don't have it and what it takes away from us when we don't have it, Ron.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you pointed out something really important here if you want to look at the cup half full or half empty. Right now, I guess it's better to be in the terminal without power than stuck on the planes on those aluminum tubes for hours and hours, you know, and you can't get off, you can't even get to the terminal. So that must be really tough, especially for those moms and dads with small children. And we're hearing a lot about that on social media. Christy, thank you. We really appreciate that. Stay there. We're going to check in with you a little later on. We may possibly check in with you a little later on.